Hey Melissa, this video is going to answer your question about the best approach to analyze a website in regards to a link building opportunity, also the potential ROI of that link. So I have a very specific process that I pass on to our link prospectors to understand the potential value and impact of a link when analyzing a website, and if it's something that we want to pursue, to contact, and to move forward with in building that relationship. Your process is pretty spot on here, but I'm just going to take this video to blow mine out in a little bit more detail so you can see the exact system that we use. So to illustrate this, I'm going to jump over here. This is a link vendor that we've been using quite a bit of, No BS, really like their work. And what I'm going to do is, they've handled all the prospecting for us, but I'm going to show you how I go through and analyze these websites to see if it's something that we want to move forward with. So you can see they give us the link, they give us the traffic, all this stuff. But what you can do is open this up into a new tab, and this is for a health client. They sell a health supplement, which is always kind of a tough space to build links in for a lot of different reasons. So what I always start with is just opening up the website. So I've opened up 3 of them here. So here's one. This Life is an Episode website. And the first thing that I always do is I always just look to see if it is a active and topically relevant website. So the first way that I check if it's topically relevant is I just see what they're posting about. So I'll look for these categories. Sometimes they'll have them on the top level navigation here. So you can see this: lifestyle, beauty, fashion, health, home, garden, tech, travel, how to. So what I see here is this website is not overly topically relevant. I mean, what type of website is talking about lifestyle, beauty, fashion, health, home and garden, and tech, right? And then how to as well. What this tells me is that this website is very highly likely just selling links. So right off the bat, this kind of goes down a tick. It doesn't mean that I won't work with it, because a link from this website can still impact SEO, but what it does is it devalues the price that I'm willing to pay for it. So that's just a mental note that I make. Another thing that I'll look at is, I'll open up 2 articles here, and I will check the quality of the content. So I'm looking at things like depth. I'm looking at things like, are they using images? So you can see this is a very bland article here. And I'm looking at things like external links and internal links. Where are they linking out to? So this to me here, I already know that this is, I'm just going to open this in a new tab. What I'm looking at here is, this is linking to a services page on an agency website. And it's also using an exact match anchor text, right? So when you put yourself in the context of if this Life is an Episode was your website, would you be linking out using an exact match anchor text? And would that be the only link that you put into an article? The answer is no, it wouldn't be. Whenever you're writing an article, you're going to use external links linking out as citation purposes. You're not just going to write an article about social media trends and link out directly to a service page on a website that you have no relationship with. So right off the bat, again, I don't really love this website. This is not something that I would pay more than a couple of bucks for just right off the bat. And just to drive home that context, I'm just going to look at another article. So that one was about social media marketing. This one here looks more like it's just kind of like a blog here, more of a true blog where it's just kind of stating thoughts. You can see that there's no internal or external links here. There's no real targeting this, which is fine. 15 comments, which is good. Although these do look like spam, kind of fake comments, not really hard to tell that either. So this website is kind of getting devalued in my mind, and it's not something that I would probably approve for a client to be active on. The other thing that I'll do is I'll just kind of click through. So they do have, I saw a Twitter account here, which is good. You can see they got the recent tweets set up here. Usually that can just be set up via IFTT, just kind of automated. It's not something that shows an overall amount of quality. I'll always check the about page too, to see if they have real people on the website. They got stock images here. You can see that this is pretty much fake. Anytime that there's also a contributors tab, anytime that a website is openly soliciting accepting guest posts, it means that, to me, this has become like kind of a new age private blog network website where they've gone from, they're not, because they know that SEOs are actively searching Google for websites that accept guest posts. So now they're basically doing inbound marketing for guest posts. It's pretty smart. I'd even be willing to bet here, that they have something here about buying a post on the website. In my opinion, I think that Google is now crawling and understanding websites that overly solicit guest posts, and they're devaluing the links from that website. Again, I would still probably take a link from this website, but the amount that I would be willing to pay for it, the amount of effort that I would be willing to put into this, is going down through the floor. So, you know, it's one thing to accept guest posts, like if you've got a footer link, if it's on the about page or contact page, that's cool. And if the quality of the guest posts that they're accepting is high, then that's fine. Like you can post on my website, but I'm not going to post garbage on my website. They've also put this in the top level navigation. I mean, what kind of website puts this in the top level navigation? They're telling us that this is one of the most important pages on the website. So the other thing that I would do is I would take the link and I would dump it into, I like Ahrefs, either Ahrefs or SEMrush, whichever one you prefer. And what I would do is I would check the organic search profile just to see how this is trending up or down. So you can actually see this is a good sign. This is one of my top signals of quality here, is to check how this website is performing in organic search, because if the website is doing a lot of traffic, if it has a lot of keyword rankings, then that does mean that Google sees the website as quality. So this actually just kind of like, you know, went back up in terms of quality in my eyes, because the website does have traffic and it seems to be trending upwards over time. You know, this drop isn't something I would worry about. If it drops all the way off, that would be something that I would hold against that website, but this looks to be pretty clean. The next thing I would do is actually check the top pages to see what type of keywords that this website is ranking for, because if it's ranking for something random, you know, so like this is ranking for weekend quotes, Saturday quotes, how many push-ups should I be able to do? These are actually like pretty solid bodybuilding steroids. So when I see these two, again, we're looking for a link for a health website, right? And the articles that are ranking here about push-ups, bodybuilding, jogging, these are actually health related topics. So this is, again, is going now back up in my mind. It's getting a bigger check, and the value is now going back up for what I'd be willing to pay for a link on this website. The next thing that I would check is the backlink profile to see what type of links that this website is getting, because realistically, whatever website that you're getting a link from, you're also kind of getting the equity and link juice from their link profile. So we want to understand the type of links and the quality of the links that they have. Generally speaking, if that website does have traffic and keyword rankings, then it probably has pretty solid links. But we still want to go through here. Basically what we're looking for is like .ru Russian websites, a lot of directory type websites, spammy websites. So I'm not going to go through these one by one. If you're watching this and you're an educated SEO, you know how to look at the quality of links, but that's just something else that I would look for. So to summarize, I'm looking at the topical quality of the website. I'm looking at what type of articles they're publishing. I'm looking at the categories. I'm looking at the links that they have going to outbound websites. Are they relevant? Are they clearly selling links? Are they accepting guest posts? Do they have active social profiles? Things along that nature. And then I'm going in to look at keyword rankings and then traditional SEO metrics too. So something else that I'll look at would be either like DA or DR, depending on if you use Moz or SEMrush or Ahrefs. So DR, this does have a solid DR. Anything above like 15 DR is pretty solid. That's basically just telling us kind of like the SEO quality from what these tools are seeing from these websites. So going back into No BS, I want to do a couple more examples here. Just opening these up. There's two more that I wanted to run through. This one I really like. So this is another one that they put to us, and you can see right off the bat here that the website design is a lot cleaner. This is not just some random blog template that they have. It looks like, you know, they've got videos. They've got actually about us and a features pages here. So it looks like they're actually selling something, a membership on this website, which is really good. This tells me that this is a real website, but that No BS has just built some sort of relationship with this company that's then allowing them to get featured with a link on the website, which is big, right? It's not, I know just by looking at this that this website is not just selling links, that they also have a business behind this. Infographics, flashcards, quizzes. So you can see here, just looking at this, the quality of their content is also a lot higher. The menu's not really working that well. Just going to check out the About Us page. So again, you can already see the difference between this page and the other one. Yes, they do have some ads on here. But they've just put a lot more effort into this too. You know, again, it's not necessarily as much of a business as I thought it was, but you know, the front end design definitely fooled me a little bit more. It looks like they pretty much just put a much nicer design on this. But now let's check out the blog. Let's check out some of their content. They do have a login feature, which is good too. You know, again, even if this is like not necessarily a real business website, it does show me that they kind of have gone out of their way to show Google that this is a real website, which is good. And just looking at the categories too, I just like this a lot better. So this is all about pharmacy, health, and drugs. You can just kind of see that here. So let's look at this post just to see what they're talking about. So you can also see here that they've been publishing quite a bit. I like that they're using a little custom graphics here that match the branding. Again, that just shows that they're doing that. I also like this. So it says that they're posting stuff on their Instagram stories. Instagram is not a network that is easily faked, so they do have a profile here. This is really good. This is also really encouraging. They've got 185,000 followers. Wondering how much of that is real, but it looks like they are, which is, these are getting 2,000 plus likes on them, comments. I really like that. Even if they're faking that with bots, that's still, again, enough to sell me. Again, I'm not going to be spending more than like 5 to 10 minutes evaluating these websites. But you can just see here too how they're using external links, how they're creating this content. It's just a lot cleaner than the other one, right? So the value of this website to me, I'm willing to pay a lot more for this, assuming it's relevant enough to this client. It is about pharmacy and drugs, so in regards to the client that's selling a health supplement, there's a little bit of a stretch there. But what I like here too, they've got a lot of links. DR, so the DR here is a little bit lower. That's important to note. This actually, I'm glad this came up, because sometimes people will only look at DR and DA as the shining metric for when they're evaluating a link. I don't. That to me is the last thing I look at. And the reason is you go back to this website that we're just looking at now, and they have 185,000 followers on Instagram. If you're starting a blog today, if you are a person, you're not an SEO who's starting to create content, starting a blog, your blog is not going to live solely on a website. It's going to be probably mostly on Instagram, on social media, because that's where people are creating more content. That's where people are spending more time. So if you're doing that, then your blog isn't getting the same type of SEO traditional equity that they were 10, 15 years ago when blogs were really hot and popping. So now a blog is almost secondary to a social profile if you are a blogger. And I say blogger in the general terms, meaning that you're some sort of creator. You're on YouTube, you're on Instagram, using that as your main source of content, and then maybe you're republishing on your website. You're using your website for conversions, for to sell stuff like that. So again, you're putting more time and effort into your Instagram, your YouTube, and your website is not going to be picking up as much equity in terms of links and in terms of content and in terms of traffic, because you're just not putting as much time and effort into it. That's not a bad thing. That's just a sign of the time. So if we're looking at this DR or DA as the shining metric of, it doesn't meet our SEO quality, the DA is too low, it's not a good way to approach it, because there's also ways to inflate and spam DR and DA to inflate those metrics just based on poor links or based on picking up expired domains that are the exact opposite of what we're doing. So that's why we're looking at things from a much more holistic point of view of what they're doing on social. What type of content are they creating on their website? Is this topically relevant? Are they linking out to relevant websites? Are they linking out to random websites? You saw the other website that was linking out to random financial services pages, but had a DA that was more than 3 times this website, DR, sorry. So, again, there's ways that you can inflate or kind of like kick dust over these SEO metrics, which should not be the overall shining goal of what we're looking at here. So to wrap this up, the final piece here is talking about the cost. So no BS, not the cheapest vendor out there, but they do have quality links. If you are looking for a link vendor, we use them for quite a bit, especially when we're really building links at scale. I like Aaron. He's a good dude. They do a good job here. They're able to provide consistent quality results. And again, what's cool about this is you can go through and you can pick the links that you want. Like I wouldn't work with this one. So the total cost here is going to be $134 for that first one that we looked at. The other one that we looked at, PharmaFacts, is $167. So the way that I look at the value of that is twofold. Number one is, so going back to your question, Melissa, I don't think it was just about links. This just kind of took a turn for link building quality and value. But, what I'm looking at in regards to how much I'm going to pay for a link, it's really not so much on an ROI basis. Like links are kind of a sunk cost. You have to acquire links to have success in SEO. It's really more looking at, when you're doing this for a client especially, or even for yourself, is how much budget do I have to spend on these in regards to how much traffic I could potentially return. So what you need to be looking at is, links, if you get quality links, again, the quantity of how many links you need is going to be subjective to what website that you're working on, but that you need links to get success. So you have to be looking at really the total traffic potential, how much that traffic is worth to you, and how much you can invest into getting that traffic. So I look at content the same way. People kind of like complain about paying $500 to $1,000 for a piece of content, which is what I pay for my website, because I know that if I can get a blog post about attorney SEO to rank that I paid $1,000 for, it's going to drive way more than $1,000 in revenue and traffic to my business. And that links go into that conversation too. That means if I have to spend another $5,000 to get that to rank, do you not think that getting a post to rank first for attorney SEO is worth $6,000 because you sign 1 or 2 clients based on that post and you've made an ROI. So that's kind of the approach that you have to take to this, is that links are an investment, just like content is, and you have to understand how to measure that kind of cost per link based on what it is that you're selling. So if you're a local coffee shop, spending $5,000 on links for one post is not going to be feasible. So you're going to have to kind of like gauge the quality of the links, be a lot more scrutinous in what it is that you're buying, and spread that out over time. Maybe you can only get 3 links a year to that post, or to your service pages, your homepage, whatever that may be. But you've got to understand kind of like what those levers are and how much you can invest. And a lot of that is just kind of feeling, just going through this and having experience in this field and understanding how to do this over time. The other thing that I'm looking at is just the market value cost of links. Like, this is very on par for what this would cost almost for me to do this internally, but not so much. So like I could probably build these links on these websites if I were to go out and do prospecting, do the outreach, all that stuff, just based on the time and effort to do that, probably for about half of this. But then I have to manage the people, I have to find the people, I have to hire the people, I have to train the people. There's still going to be this publisher fee from a lot of these websites because that's just a state of link building. So I have to look at in terms of the cost to my agency to do this. And then also, this isn't just for one client. If you have 20, 50, 100 clients, scaling out that link building practice can be very challenging. So, us as an agency, we've moved more towards using vendors. We still do outreach. I still use the exact trainings that are within the blueprint. But now that we're just getting started building our agency again, I'm relying a lot more on vendors to help me out in the short term because I'm not able to build a full link building team with a prospect or an outreach person, all like that overnight. And links are a necessary part of this equation that I have to get no matter what. That's just it's not something I can not do. So understanding the cost of how much I can pay is really based on the opportunity for that website, and then also the market value of the links, which this is pretty spot on. It's usually going to be between like $80 and $200 for like the market value. Some people will charge you a lot more for like a Forbes link, but I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about like true SEO links, things that we're doing for organic traffic purposes. And the final part of that, Melissa, too, is that, just to kind of wrap up your question, is that you were asking a little bit more. It seemed like influencers, those are going to be much more of a direct ROI basis. Like if you're working with an influencer, it's not so much, how much organic traffic is this going to turn around. It's more how much traffic is going to turn around. So that's an important note too, is that when I'm looking at SEO links, I am not looking at the potential traffic that link will send. Getting a link on one of these websites in an old blog post or a new blog post is not going to drive traffic to my website. That's not the purpose of this. If it does drive traffic, great. But the purpose of this is to indirectly drive traffic through organic traffic. So I'm looking at the keyword potential of the page that I'm trying to rank, and then I'm looking at how much can I invest in terms of hard costs, in terms of content, in terms of links to get that page to rank that's going to turn around in ROI. So I'm not looking at the traffic from the link, I'm looking at the traffic that link would provide from search engine. So I hope that answers your questions. As always, guys, if you have more, please drop them in our Slack channel. If you guys want to join our Slack channel, it is 100% free. Just hit the link below, join the Blueprint training, and I'll see you in there.